From the IMTV Wave Channel 5 studio at Greenville Senior High School, home of the Greenville Green Wave, the Greenville Veterans Memorial Park and Digital Library proudly presents Never Stop Serving.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Never Stop Serving. I'm Samuel Plock and I'm your host for the first episode of Season 5's Never Stop Serving series. This series is sponsored by Greenville High School's Interactive Media Department and Greenville VFW Posted number 7262. Today, our special guest for this episode is Julie Constable. Please welcome her to our show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Julie is the VFW Auxiliary 3rd District Ohio President. Julie, please tell us about your origin story, where you grew up, your parents, your high school, etc.
Okay. I was born in Marshfield, Wisconsin. Moved to Wausau, Wisconsin when I was about 5. Lived there my entire life. Went to college at Viterbo University in La Crosse, Wisconsin, where I earned my nursing degree. And while I was in nursing school, I met with a recruiter. A friend of mine wanted to join the military. I, at the time, did not, but I was a college student, and it was a free meal. So I went and listened to the recruiter spiel, and actually went to Offutt, Nebraska, to see what the Air Force had to offer. At the time, I was not interested in going into the Air Force. My plan was to go stay home, be a nurse, live in my hometown. And then when I went to Offutt, Nebraska for the recruiting tour, I became very interested in the Air Force. So once I graduated from nursing school, I did go ahead and join the military with the intent of staying for 3 years, getting my nursing experience, and then going back to Wisconsin to work. Well, unbeknownst to me, I met my husband there. My husband is retired military. We met at my very first assignment in Biloxi, Mississippi, which I don't know if any of you know where Biloxi, Mississippi is, but I actually ended up having to look at it on the map because I didn't know where it was. I thought it was in the Gulf of Mexico. It was so close to the Gulf of Mexico. But I did meet my husband there. Started my Air Force career there as a nurse. Loved it. Retired after 24 years in the military and went through, all the ranks and just really enjoyed the military. And then my husband, we have just kind of traveled throughout our military career together. We have had some separations, being joint military, but at this point we're both retired and happy on this end. So we do have 3 children, all, we call them military brats. They're all born and raised in the military. And we're very appreciative of all the sacrifices that they made for us to be able to successfully retire in the military.
Well, there you go. What years did you serve in the Air Force?
I joined the military in 1983 and I retired in 2007.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's not too long ago if you really think about all the wars that have gone on since the Revolutionary War in the late 1700s.
Yeah.
See, would you please tell us what branch of the service that you served for?
I was in the Air Force as a nurse.
And how long did you serve?
I retired after 24 years in the service.
And what was your job while you were in the military?
Well, I started as a bedside nurse, and then as you make rank, then you start into the supervisory role. So I did the bedside nurse, took care of patients, and then moved on to the leadership. Charge nurse, worked in the clinic. Was a flight commander. So pretty much did everything in the military. Commiserate with my rank that I could do so.
Well, there you go. It's always important to start little and go big.
That's right. There you go.
How is your year starting out, and what do you wish to achieve this year?
Well, what I do is I'm the District 3 VFW Auxiliary President, My role is I'm the kind of like the middleman between the Department of Ohio, VFW president, the auxiliary president, and all of our auxiliaries in the state of Ohio. In District 3, we have 30 VFW auxiliary in the state. So my role is to monitor them, make sure that if there's any questions, concerns, make sure that they're following the bylaws of what our organization is. So I'm sort of the middleman between our president, Tracy Fife, and our 30 auxiliaries.
It's important. Do you have any memories or moments from your military experience or service that you would like to share with the audience?
I think my most memorable experience was I was a fairly brand new nurse when I was stationed at Biloxi, and it was just at the beginning of the Gulf War situation. Things were getting tough over there, and I was selected to go over to Nocton Hall, which at the time was like a hospital that they had closed down, and the United States used it as a staging facility in the event of a war over there. And so I was selected to go over there for 2 weeks and bring it back up and make sure that everything was working, make sure all our documentation was there, make sure that if in the event that we needed to use it, that it was ready to go. It was a wonderful experience for me. It was the first time I was out of the country. It was the first time I had seen that sort of, they call it a mothball facility, actually brought up and to be able to get everything working and everything. It was a wonderful experience for me, and it was just an honor to be selected to attend there. So I think that's probably my most memorable experience, as well as, of course, meeting my husband and traveling throughout our military career.
Yep. It's great to travel, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Of course, I'm going to be traveling in July 2020 with the VFW to Reno, Nevada. So we have a lot of things in common with a lot of VFW members.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And in a way, I'm kind of giving back as a service to our country by doing this show.
Absolutely. Yes, you absolutely are. Because it gets the word out, tells you about what we do,
Yes.
how we can support our veterans.
It's always important to support your veterans, especially in these times where veterans don't get that much respect and they deserve our respect. Julie, you recently attended the VFW Founders Day. Can you please tell us more about this event?
Absolutely. So Founders Day is an annual event that the Department of Ohio holds every year for the commemoration of the beginning of the VFW. Our VFW actually started here in Ohio, in Columbus, Ohio, in 1899, and one of the mainstays, one of the main characters of starting us was from Columbus. His name was James Romanus, and he started with some other gentlemen after the Spanish-American War. They started to get together. There were 14 of them, and they wanted to meet up with. They wanted to make sure that our veterans were being taken care of, because they saw a lot of things happen to the veterans that they were not, getting and weren't being allowed to do. So their goal was to get people together and to kind of rile them up and make sure that our veterans were being taken care of. So every year on the last Saturday of the month in September, our VFW and our Department of Ohio and our VFW Department of Ohio Auxiliary, we go up to Columbus, Ohio, and we commemorate the start of, or the beginning of our VFW. And so because James Romanus is buried up there in Green Lawn Cemetery, that's where we hold our program every year, our ceremony. Usually what happens is all of our districts, all of our VFW members, we all go up there, we take our district flags, our American flags, just kind of to commemorate, what they did for us, how they got us started, and where we are today because of what they did. So it's a wonderful event every year. This past year, our national VFW national president, Peggy Hockey, she was there from the state of Ohio. So we usually have national representation as well that attend that wonderful ceremony. And it's just kind of a way to commemorate what these gentlemen did for us in getting us started, and kind of to show us all where we came from and how far we've come in supporting our veterans and make sure that they get, what they need.
Oh yes, it's always important. Once again, audience, it's always important to support your veterans because they fought for us and we need to fight for them. Most important. After your service has ended, what do you do for veterans?
Well, not only am I the district, district president for District 3, I'm also very involved in our VFW and our VFW auxiliary in Huber Heights, Ohio. I'm our auxiliary treasurer, so I make sure our monies are up to date and do what we can do. And I pretty much am available to do whatever I can to help the veterans. I do visit the hospital, the Dayton VA, twice a month to play bingo with our veterans. We, share laughs with them, smiles with them, just let them know that we appreciate their service. And so, I continue to do whatever I can for our vets because that's what it's all about.
Well, there you go. That's self-explanatory. Do you have any words of advice for young people who are interested in the service or how they can get involved?
What I would say is probably the most important thing they can do is ask questions. If they're interested in serving their veterans or if they're interested in helping in any way, contact your local VFW post. We've got great members involved and we're always looking for volunteers. So a lot of the posts have Facebook pages these days, web pages, all that kind of stuff. Or else just, find your local VFW and walk in and say, hey, how can I help? We're always looking for good help.
Well, there you go. It's always important to give help to the veterans because it's a constant issue, would you say?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's probably one of our most important roles as an organization for both our VFW and our auxiliary is to make sure that we're standing up for our veterans and their rights and, especially with the legislation piece of it, because we need to make sure that they get what they deserve.
Yes, and they deserve a lot. Would you please tell us about your involvement with the VFW?
Yeah, well, I do, like I said, I do all of our managing of our funds for our VFW auxiliary post. I visit the veterans. In our organization, we do a lot of reporting to make sure that the community knows what we do for not only our veterans, but our community. I do a lot of the reporting for there. We do a lot of dinners at our VFW post. That's how we raise our money to support our veterans and to support our communities. So I do a lot of dinners there, cook a lot of meals. We serve a lot of veterans and their families and the community members as well. So that, there's a lot of action that goes on at the VFW post, not only here in Greenville, but, all over the state. So I'm very involved in the VFW and I'm thankful that I'm able to do that for the veterans. Because not only am I a veteran and I appreciate what everyone does for me, but I want to make sure that I give back to those veterans, especially those that fought, in foreign soil for my freedom.
Yes. Yep, it's always important. Do you have any special events or information to share with our viewers by chance?
The biggest thing I would say is that, it's just when you see a veteran walking down the street, a lot of them wear ball caps with their service, their insignia on it. Just thank them. Thank them for their service. Just a handshake and a smile and a thank you for their service. It goes a long way for our veterans, just thanking them for all they do for us. It's just something simple I think we can do and it'll put a smile on their face.
Yes, they do need to be cheered up because of the problems going on today. And don't get me wrong, we will always have problems in our country, but in the past, the present, and the future. But it's always important to recognize those who have fought for our country in the past and even those in the present.
Right, absolutely. Yep.
Thank you again. And thank you once again so much for your service to our great country.
Thank you, and I appreciate you having me here and allowing us to tell our story.
Yes, And I would like to also thank you for our time.
Well, thank you.
For your time.
Yep, and thank you. And thank you for putting this on and for everybody's efforts for that, just to keep the veterans out there. All right.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Here at Never Stop Serving, we highlight veterans that continue to serve beyond their military service. We would like to announce the annual talent show at the Greenville VFW post number 7262. It has now been set. It's called the Phantom of the Opera Talent Show, and it's approaching quickly on November 9th. Talented acts and sponsors are definitely needed, so please contact gvmpdl@gmail.com for more information or if you want to perform. This year's judges are celebrity judges and will be couples. Julie and Jerry will be two of the judges this year. We are looking forward to an awesome talent show, and I will be your MC, believe it or not. Please continue to watch for upcoming episodes of Never Stop Serving. We have a full-packed season ready with a lot of great stories to tell, so it's going to be great. If you love history and you love learning about what happened during all these wars, this is the show for you. And especially if you want to get involved in the VFW, this is the show for you. Also continue to watch the Veterans Memorial Park and Digital Library Facebook page for upcoming events and updates. If you are a veteran and would like to share your story, please contact the Greenville VFW. Thank you for watching. This is Samuel Plock, signing off. See you next time.
Thank you for watching. Please visit us on our social media sites. Please consider contributing to our mission in some way. Also, we are always looking for veterans and their families to share their stories with us. Be sure to join us next week for our next episode of Never Stop Serving.